So the Indiana Fever have made a roster cut. Sonia Citron gets her welcome to the league moment by Brittney Griner. And the Golden State Valkyries game last night went off. So the Indiana Fever, as expected, have waived Yvonne Ejim. I mean, it's kind of assumed that Michaela Timpson is a lock for the roster spot, but they did keep Jaylen Brown, so that does make me wonder, like, why not cut Jaylen Brown in this round if she still wasn't in consideration? So Ejim had some pretty tough minutes against the Mystics, and she did have some moments in the Brazil game, but I think just her overall kind of like knowledge of leveling up isn't exactly there yet. While she does show potential to grow there, I think that she's just not at the level that the Indiana Fever are hoping her to be at. And because Michaela Timpson is obviously at a certain level, and she definitely she's a rim runner. She has those long arms that everyone keeps talking about. She's just showing a lot of potential. She just obviously has a higher ceiling than Ejim at the moment. And this is maybe a hot take, but I'm not seeing Bree Turner being the Bree Turner that I wanted her to be. And Bree Turner is a rim runner, so we all kind of thought that she was a lock. And she was in that gym practicing every day with the Indiana Fever, which was a good sign. But Michaela Timpson is also a rim runner and kind of feeling that she could come in for Howard. Like once, Howard can like mentor her, and Howard really likes Michaela Timpson. They went to the same alma mater, and she's been posting about Timpson. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. Now, again, this is a hot take. And Jaylen Brown, she showed some really good defense in the Brazil game, which didn't show up on the stat sheet. You had to watch the game to see it. And she had a couple of really good jumpers. I would definitely want her offense to get a little better, but because she doesn't interfere in that rim runner, like power forward positioning that Natasha Howard's in, and Bree Turner was maybe coming in, and Michaela Timpson being a lock could develop into, I'm wondering if they're weighing the two options, and that is why I think Bree Turner, and she is on an unprotected contract, is not exactly safe. But goodbye, Yvonne Ejim. You had the best smile in training camp, and you had some guns to go along with that. Moving on to today's Washington Mystics Atlanta Dream game, we got a glimpse of Brittney Griner on an entirely new team, which I never thought would happen. She was drafted to the Mercury, played there her entire career, so it was quite a shock when she actually announced that in her free agency, she was going to the Dream. And the Dream are kind of like my dark horse to do pretty well this season. But they were playing the Washington Mystics. The Mystics did not look like the team that the Indiana Fever played. They were very sloppy in the beginning. And Sonia Citron, while chasing down Alicia Gray, running to the rim, does not see Brittney Griner set a screen, and kind of reminded me of the welcome to the league moment that Kaitlyn Clark had when she just ricocheted off of that Brianna Stewart screen. And these are the moments where your teammates, they have to be communicating with you to watch out. And I don't know if you guys watched the finals last season, but Leonie Fibich, she wasn't paying attention. Her team are they need to be calling out these screens that are getting set. Because, when you're running, you're not always able to pay attention to everything well, but these are things that you do get acclimated to once you're leveling up into the W. And although Leonie Fibich has played in EuroLeague professionally, coming to the W, totally new setting, totally new playing ground, you get used to things. And, they weren't called out for Leonie Fibich, and there were multiple screens during the finals that she just pummeled into. Now, Brittney Griner immediately held her hand out to help the rook up, but Sonia Citron needed a minute as she was totally winded, and her teammates kind of gathered around her. And at one point, they were kind of smiling and laughing because Sonia Citron must have said something funny, about her welcome to the league moment. Actually, this is what she said afterwards. Sonia Citron laughed about Brittney Griner's screen that floored her. I feel so welcome to the league. I mean, I'm just trying to defend my person, and clearly I didn't see her. She's a big, strong woman, so she definitely got me good. Yeah, I decided to take a second on the floor and catch my breath. She hit me right in the ribs, so it was like sharp pains, but I couldn't breathe. Just had to lay down for a second, but I gathered myself. I was all good, but yeah, I felt very welcomed. And Brittney Griner is 6'9". She is a formidable force to be reckoned with, so I can only imagine that running into that screen did not feel good. Now, there are a lot of people saying that this was totally uncalled for, but this is part of basketball. Like, screens are set for that reason. You set a screen for your player to give them space to make a shot or to take a shot. And unfortunately, Sonia Citron was not paying attention. She just got into the league. This is her second game in the W. And these are the types of things that she will be adjusting to. These are the types of things that her Washington Mystics teammates need to be calling out for her. But it seems like she took the moment in stride. She did bounce up and she finished the rest of the game. And let me just tell you, Sonia Citron is so solid. I really like her in the W. And I also watched the Valkyries game when they played the Los Angeles Sparks last night. And let me tell you, that first half was a little hard to watch. It was actually fun, but it was kind of like a pickup game where I didn't know what anybody was doing. Everyone was just kind of doing everything everywhere. The plays, like, I don't know what plays were even being called, but it was kind of fun. It was very fast paced. But in the second half, that's when it got really good. And if you guys don't know, Kelsey Plum has now joined the Sparks. She is playing point guard. I don't necessarily see her as the best point guard yet. I mean, this is the reason she wanted to go to the Sparks. She kind of wanted to run the point. She wanted to run the team. And we will see like how that works. Like, she is a great shooting guard. That is what she did when she broke the NCAA scoring record in the women's NCAA. And I have yet to see her prove that, and we are still in preseason. So again, Kelsey Plum is a great player. Maybe she can be a great point guard. But Odyssey Sims was playing the point last year for the Sparks, and she did pretty well. But let me tell you, the Valkyries crowd was showing up for their brand new franchise expansion team with over 17,000 people in attendance, which makes, at this point in preseason, the highest attendance of any preseason game, which isn't that crazy, but it is when you think about the fact that it's preseason and it's not the Indiana Fever. I kept switching back and forth between the Aces Mercury game because I was really curious to see how the Mercury would do. I didn't think that they would do really well this season because their roster kind of just seems kind of like put together. And the Aces, you know, they did really well in their first preseason game against the Wings, but again, that was against the Wings, and I think the Wings are going to be not that great this season. I don't want to say anything else, but I just don't think they're going to be that great. But the Aces Mercury game wasn't really like drawing me in because the Valkyries Sparks game was just so loud and the pacing, and it was so much more fun to watch. Kate Martin shows up. When she makes her first points as a Valkyrie, everybody went crazy. I mean, what's her name? I think her name is Amahir. Her name's Letitia Amahir. She went off. And it was in the second half when all the rookies came in and things started really looking good. And like, the Valkyries came from behind from a pretty big deficit to come this close from winning the game. And then when Kaitlyn Chen came in the fourth quarter, she just like came in and she is a crowd favorite. I did not know that Kaitlyn Chen had such a big fan base in the Bay Area. But the thing that gives me chills, and I have watched this play so many times, and I get chills watching it, was the steal Julie Van Lowe made. She battles through, she threads it through to these defenders for Kaitlyn Chen, where Kaitlyn Chen made her first points. And again, the crowd went nuts.
Center. Valkyries with a 1.
So at the very end of the game, they are trailing by 4 points. And I hope I'm saying her name right. Amahir, I don't know, Leticia Amahir. She has the ball. She goes up for the buzzer beater for a 3-pointer, and she makes it in the last seconds of the game, but it was 1 point shy of tying it. And you know what? The crowd gave them a standing ovation because they were down by a lot in the beginning. And to come back like that, that was really honorable. It really was. And I made a power ranking, and I just could not rank the Valkyries in last place. A lot of people asked me why I did that. And it was honestly because they have Tiffany Hayes, they have Kate Martin, who's solid. They have Kayla Thornton, who was such a great sixth man on the Liberty last season. They brought over a bunch of really great Euro players who I know are going to be out for part of the season, and some good rookies. They did waive Cheyenne Sellers before even watching her play in a preseason game, which Natalie Nakase, the coach, is actually kind of in some hot water for basically just saying she didn't fit on the team. I don't know if it was personality, I don't know if it was style of play, but like a lot of people think that she did Cheyenne Sellers bad, but Cheyenne Sellers was picked up by the Atlanta Dream, so all is well there. And I can't stop coming across these great socials of when the Indiana Fever played the Brazilian national team, and there was something that I came across today where after Caitlin Clark hailed her logo bomb, that fancy, amazing, iconic logo 3, there is one other player that gets highlighted, and then she smiles after she makes the shot. You gotta love this Brazilian team. So happy to be there, and I don't know, it just puts like some joy in my heart. So those are some of today's updates. If you have any comments, get down below, write them all out. If you like the content, give it a like, and if you want to, subscribe, and I will see you next time.